Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Second episode of the day. Looking forward to this one as well. Catching up with a good friend of the pod, her third time on the show. But before I bring her on, let's hit my music. Let's get it. All right. Once again, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Happy Tuesday, second episode of the day, November 18th. Very excited again to have my next guest. I will bring her on just in a few, but before I bring her on stage, you can follow the show on all the social media platforms, all the podcast platforms, whether it's Apple, Spotify, we're on YouTube, BS3 Network, BS3 TV Live.com, BS3 Network Roku channel. We're also on iHeartRadio, wherever you consume podcasts, you can get it there. And you can follow me on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the ones I'm most active on. Also on on Blue Sky and TikTok as well. All right, let me bring in I don't even call her a guest anymore. She is a good friend. And like I said, it's been over a year since we've done a show together. So Katie Hennessey is back on the show. Senior talent, senior talent producer of ESPN.
Yep.
And she's done a bit of everything. Works for Disney, works for a lot of different companies. But so Katie, welcome to the show. Really appreciate it.
Oh, Courtney, you're the best. I love being here. It's always so fun. I love your intro and seeing your
Thank you.
logo. I'm so proud of you. You're
Thank
doing
you.
it. You're doing it.
I appreciate that, and I can't thank you enough for doing this again. Reached out and said, "Hey, I want to get back in the pod." I said, "Anytime. You don't even have to ask. Just say I got some time. Let's chat." So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna chat and see what you've been up to. And like I said, it's been over a year. Even though we talked, outside of this, but again, I really appreciate you and your time and the friendship as well. So again, thank you for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Our friendship has grown. And I mean, I think a lot of good friendships nowadays are created and sustained on social, and that's
Yeah.
us. And we were just talking beforehand how it was just your birthday. So happy belated
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you.
So
Appreciate
exciting,
it.
and your anniversary with your wife.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
lots going on with you. I like to follow along and see all of the amazing work that you're doing, and you've been crushing it. So keep doing that. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, really do, and I appreciate our friendship. And said we build relationships on social media, and through networking and things like that. We might be events if if that happens too. But yeah, social media, and we've built over the last couple of years. So I really appreciate that and the time. And thank you for the kind words as well. So yeah, but how have you been? Like I said, it's been over a year since we've done this. The podcast. But how's everything going with you? I've been following your journey as well. Still crushing it as what you're doing on ESPN on that side as well. But how's everything going with you over this year?
Yeah, that's crazy that it's been a year. I think, personally, some ups and downs. I think we all go through that. We were
Yeah.
talking off camera before about like this week for me has been a little tough, but I like to be candid with that because I think a lot of the times we forget the mental health aspect of people
Yeah.
as like actual human beings. We kind of just get into the motions and like, I know you do this and I know you do that and you appear to be okay and all these other things. But like, even as we just seen tragically with the Cowboys, like things are
Yeah.
not always what they seem. I thankfully have done a lot of work on myself with the past half decade of things that I've gone through. So I have a good support system and I have a lot of great tools. I have the privilege to be able to go to therapy. So good on that aspect, always a work in progress. And then work, I mean, it just never ends. I feel like college football has exploded even more so.
Yeah.
So many great storylines, not just your typical teams. There's I have the North Texas quarterback coming on Sports Center tonight, and who knew of him? I don't know if he played in high school. Like, it's a great story. So there's lots going on, lots of storylines. I think since the last time we talked, our ESPN radio trailer tour hadn't existed. So now on Saturdays, there's 5 road shows that I book for. So we've got lots going on Saturdays. And like, this was one of the very fun and interesting weeks where everybody went to a different place. So it's really cool to be able to think outside the box. Like, radio needs Wisconsin people, and Nation is in Tennessee, and Huddle's in Georgia, and Game Days in Oregon. So trying to like stretch your muscles of your brain, like for anybody that doesn't know, that's what I do. I try to find guests for these shows, whether they're active players or coaches or celebrity fans or alum. So that's kind of what I do. So it's a very fun puzzle to put together every week.
It's a very fun and never-ending puzzle. It's not one of those 5,000 piece puzzles. This is like never-ending piece puzzle.
Which is great because there's always fresh talent, and as we've seen too, like the continued growth of women's sports, which is fantastic.
Yes,
there's a lot of female college basketball requests already. So diving headfirst into that, because I work on every college sport, and there's volleyball, and there's women's soccer, and there's lacrosse. So it's just like, I love it. I love the boom of let's ask for different and highlight and showcase different athletes and their journeys. So it's great. It's a great time to be doing what I'm doing, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, then as you said, for any college sports, what you said, that no people, when we say college sports, people think of football and basketball, but no, you said you got soccer, you got volleyball, you got all these different sports, and you said your brain stretching to do and to book and things like that. It's tremendous. Like I said, I've been seeing a lot of different things you're doing, which I'm always rooting for you, and just to continue to keep producing such great shows and things like that too. I'm gonna get back to the mental health thing too, because I think that's it's very important to talk about as well, because you said you don't want to get burnt out or just in dealing with, and we deal just life in general. It's just so much is always trying to overcome these things too. But as like I said, it's very important to talk about mental health and everything too. So always doing a mental check on the people that you love and the people that you know, and having that good support system, I think is very important as well. So, but yeah, we can talk about that too, like you said, with the mental health and how important that is in any aspect of life, whether it's your professional or personal life. I think it's very important to have those mental check-ins and with all the people and just to reach out, just sending a text is very important. But talk
huge.
about that. It's huge, right? And so talk about that, how important that is to check in with you said the people around you in your circle and having a good support system.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's circle's different and everybody's needs are different. For me, I'm very empathetic and emotional, and I feel things very deeply, and I care about people, and like I love nurturing relationships, gift giving, cards, things like that. But not everybody's like that. So I think once you realize like who you are and what your communication style is, you can temper your expectations for what other people bring to the table. Like, I have friends who I've known my whole life, but we might not text each other but once a month. But I think if someone's ever on your mind or in your heart, or for some reason you just like are thinking about them consistently, it's probably a good gut feeling that you should just pop in on them, say hello. I'm not saying we need to like cold call FaceTime people unless that's your vibe, but I'm just saying a quick like, hey, how's it going? Like, haven't heard from you, want you to know I love you, just saying hi. And sometimes like I'll send those and I won't get a response for a long time. Or like one of my good friends that I made when I worked at Disney, she texted me a picture on Sunday, I think, of us at a premiere from 10 years ago. It was like her Facebook memory. And she was like, oh my gosh, 10 years. I was like, can you believe it? That's crazy. And it's like, I take that as like us checking in on each other. Like, I know she's busy. She's a mom of 2 little girls. And like, I'm doing my thing. Everybody's got their own thing that's important to them. So it's nice to check even on strangers. Like sometimes I'll go on TikTok. This might be weird of me. I don't know, but we'll find out what people think. But I'll go on Instagram lives of people. And if they just are like, not crying necessarily because emotions aren't like that black and white, but like if they just kind of seem like they're having a tough go of it,
Right.
I like to interact and comment and be like, are you okay? Like, this is so brave of you to put out your story or whatever it is. Like, the
Yeah.
example that pops into my mind is there's a young man who does lives frequently and he's actually legally blind, but he works multiple jobs. And I'm like, that's amazing that you go in
Yeah.
person to a job. Like, I think he stocks groceries at Walmart. And I'm not 100% sure how he can do that with his disability, but I am always rooting for him. And it might seem weird, but I like check in on him on TikTok. Um, so I think even just moments like that, where it might be a stranger, it doesn't even have to be that deep either. Like, oh my God, are you okay? It can just be like you see someone at work or someone on the street. I love to do this. Like women, when they look great, I'm like, you look so beautiful today,
Mhm.
because they might not hear that all day and they got ready and they think that they look great and nobody notices. But
Right.
like maybe the one random person is like, wow, I love your smile or whatever it is. So I think there's little things that we can all do as the world goes around us where we can encourage one another. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like terribly deep, especially
Mhm.
nowadays when everything feels so heavy and there are a
Mm.
lot of like
Yeah.
real problems that people are really going through. People are having a very difficult time. It's nice just as another human being to be like, hey, I'm not creepy and I just want to make sure you're okay. Because you never
Yeah.
know what someone's going through. Or like you didn't know before I got on this that I was having a crummy day, but you immediately like brightened me and like made me feel like at home and welcome. So thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you're right. I think it's the world we live in today, it is it's heavy, it's dark sometimes, things get a little heavy. And if you watch the news or just in general, things are just not the world's just is a could be an evil place, like
Yeah.
quite frankly. And it's good to meet nice people or just say nice things. Like you said, checking in
Yeah. Just check
on
in.
things. Just say hi to someone. You might say you never know what a hello to someone can brighten up their day throughout. And because you said you don't know what they're going through, what they've been through, and things like that. But if you send a text or a message or anything like that, and then that's how we deal with it. He said that
Yeah.
face to face
Yeah.
thing, it doesn't, or either people pick up the phone or anything like that, but a text, and you just
Yeah.
say, hey, just was thinking about you. What's going on? How's everything going? It could be a 2-3 minute exchange, and you might brighten up their day for that rest of that day, and
Yeah.
everything too. So yeah, I
Or
think
you
it's
could save their life. You never
they
know.
have their life too. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like,
it's like I said, so much going on.
yeah, sorry to interrupt you. There is so much going on. And I think, too, for us in the business that we're in and people who are in similar media business, like
Hmm.
we're consuming so much at any given time that what you're talking about, like, even if you're not watching the news, like I don't really watch the news anymore. It's a
Yeah,
lot. But I am on socials and I am seeing like boots on the ground stories and this
yeah.
GoFundMe and that GoFundMe and this happened and that, like, it does start to like wear on you. So it's good to be able to not only like to check in on other people, but it's good for yourself to kind of like step away and
Oh
like
yeah,
know that it's heavy, especially too, like I lost my sister, this story. I lost my sister 4 years ago and I
yeah,
still deal with the trauma and pain. Like I was talking to my therapist yesterday about it and a current situation I'm in. She's like, you have to remember RAIN. It's like a acronym. I actually wrote it down. I should tell you what it is because it's helpful. I think if you're in a situation, you think of RAIN when you're in pain. So you recognize what's bothering you, you allow, which is like the practice of like sitting with it. You investigate, why am I feeling
mm,
this way? And then you nurture that pain. So a little fun tidbit for, I don't know if it's fun,
yeah.
but a little thing that I learned in therapy is just when you're in pain, you want to be reactive to what's causing you pain. And you want to, like, I know for me, I want to shut it down and I just want to fight the pain with like anger. So she gave me the acronym RAIN yesterday, and it kind of has helped settle me a little bit today when I've
Right.
gone back and thought about it. So I don't know, everybody's different and everybody's got their own thing they're going through. And if they're not at present moment, they might be a year from now, 20 years from now, whatever it is. But the other thing too, I'll say, this is very kind of related, but kind of not, like, take pictures as much as you can. Like, I am always looking back at photos of not
Yeah.
just people who have passed away, but like people I'm not as close with anymore. And it, like, those memories can like bring you back to a great time too. So I always tell people, like, take the picture or, record the video, because you never know. Like, I missed my sister's laugh all the time. So I'll go
Yeah.
back and play old videos. So
Yeah.
I'm sure people do that with like grandparents or parents or siblings or whoever they've lost. You have to find the good in it too, in the sense that you keep their memory alive. Like, I'm very against everything happens for a reason. I'm more like, okay, we move through this grief as a different
Yeah.
person,
Yep.
but we can find like what's worth living for and how to keep their memory alive.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even like you said, when you do lose someone, um, they would want you to move forward too. But you said you're gonna keep their memories alive, um and you're always gonna remember them and things like that. So it's things can, like you said, things can definitely be heavy, but you're right. You have to sometimes detach yourself from like social media
Hmm.
and everything too, because we can be consumed by that stuff. And
Yeah.
and it's not healthy either to be consumed
No.
with all that and everything, because you're gonna see both sides of it, the good and the bad, and we can totally be consumed with that. But I always I always think of prayer as always the equalizer to all things too. So I'm definitely a believer of that as well, and always seeing the brighter days of
Mhm.
that too. So for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you shared that. I'm glad that you definitely shared that, and you said being transparent and real about it as well, because
Yeah.
we all go through those things, and
Yeah.
again, you have those weeks where you feel like, oh, wait, this is a bad week, but there's always good days ahead, always good days ahead.
Always good. There's always another chance, and
Hmm.
you can turn it around. And, like today, I just kind of like was accepting the fact that today was shitty. And then I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to get on with Courtney and my frown will turn upside down and it'll be great. But yeah, I think especially like, not to bring it back to the Cowboys again, but it is a very
Yeah.
unfortunately relevant and timely example. But like,
Hmm.
you don't know what people are going through. So just giving people grace too, I think. Like, I'm a very reactive person in general. Like, if I get an email, I want to take care of it. Like, I just want to be on top of it. But
Yeah.
sometimes we need to like, give people a second, let it marinate a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm working on in myself.
Yeah, and we're always working on something as well,
Yeah.
within ourselves. And you said you have a good support system, which is always great. You got to have that.
Yeah.
For one, keeps us sane. It keeps us in line, and and it just it just keeps a little bit of a routine as well. And then again, checking on your obviously check on your people for
Yeah.
real, because it's for sure. Got a couple comments in here. Nathan Ramachandra says, "Hi,
Oh
Katie.
my
How have you
God.
been?" He said, keep up the fantastic work as
He's
well.
so lovely.
Yeah, yes, I appreciate him as well. He's always a loyal listener and everything too, doing a lot of different things. So shout out to Nathan from the Nathan Sports Rush podcast. So, all right, let's talk a little bit. You said you had a whirlwind the last couple of days, full of, just you said, hugs. I was on your Instagram. It says a whirlwind 2 full days, so many hugs from so many different, of your favorite people and
Yeah,
everything too. So again, that brings sunshine in your life too, that type
it
of thing
does.
too, right? And
Yeah.
what you do as well. So you said you're sometimes in different places or trying to navigate different things. You said your brain capacity is going here and there and everything. But how has
Mhm.
that been though? You talked a little bit about it earlier, but how has that been, just being able to just dive into And he said with Game Day and on ESPN, all the shows on ESPN, and continuing to find innovative ways to for the for entertainment on TV.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like the last thing that you said, we're entertainment and TV. So, like, what we're doing is fun. And I
Yeah.
won't say it's easy. Like, what we do is not easy. But I think when you remember that you're doing like something so fun as sports entertainment, it
Yep.
kind of makes you appreciate it a lot more. And it makes you step back and be like, okay, is what I'm stressing about that deep? Or can we
Mhm.
just problem solve, figure it out, move on? So yeah, I've had the privilege this year to travel a lot more than I have in the past. I remember last year people were like, "Oh, you're gone all the time," and I was like, "I don't really like." I think I went to like 4 or 5 game days last year, and for
Right.
reference, there's like almost 20 throughout this season. Like once the
Mm.
like normal season's over, and then playoffs and champ and all that stuff. So to me, it wasn't a ton last year, but this year I think I've gone to game day or SEC Nation every weekend except for maybe 2 or 3.
Mm.
So yeah, we've had a lot of great guests. It's not just me, it's a whole collaborative team effort, and not even just the talent production team. Like there's great ideas that come from the talent themselves, from PR, from music. Like there's so many departments at ESPN that collaborate to ensure that we're getting the highest quality show possible. So
Yep.
it's definitely a huge collaborative effort. People are like, "Oh, you got so and so," and I'm like, "Little me didn't do it by myself." Like, there's so many people involved, and it's really cool to look around and be like, "We are the best in this business." And I've been around a
Yeah.
lot of different people, but it's amazing to be like, that audio person knows exactly what they're talking about because they are the best, and like they can speak the language of Kenny Chesney's team when he is going to perform and make sure
Yeah.
that it all comes together well. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but this year on game day we're doing more live music performances.
Yes.
I think we've
Yep.
done like a handful already this year, which is amazing, and it's another great opportunity to get fresh faces or familiar faces out there and just further stamp how big this show is and bring even more people who might not be college football fans, but they're fans of Dirk Bentley or whoever it is. And they like, I saw a sign for Kenny front row of where he was performing, and it was like, "I'm only here for Kenny." So that's cool that you can see like a 12-year-old girl who Kenny Chesney's her favorite country artist.
Yeah.
And now she's watched a whole college football show, and maybe we have a new college football fan. So I love those opportunities. And then, of course, Pat with his kicking contest, that's taken over the internet. Everybody wants
Yes.
to see what happens every week. It's a huge moment, and it's such a generous thing that he does. So, I mean, I personally love that moment myself, especially if I'm sitting like in the production office, either with the talent or prepping them or whatever, and you can hear it going on outside, and you hear the reaction, and then it's like
Yeah.
a second behind on TV, and you see what happens. So you hear like, "Oh no," and then you
They
see
didn't
on
make
the
it.
TV.
Yeah.
So it's such a fun moment in the show. But I mean, we're lucky to do what we do, and I am blessed to be a part of it. And one day it'll end, and I'll look back and be like, "Damn, that was fun." So,
Yeah.
I'm very aware of the time frame people are in our business, and I know I've been in it for a while now. I look back and I'm like, "Damn, that's going to be I think 14 years next year." And
Wow.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Wow.
Then you see people working next to you have been there for 30, and you're like, "I hope to get there one day."
Yeah, I mean, you're about halfway there
I
now,
know,
so
isn't that crazy?
30, wow, 14 years. I mean,
Yeah,
could you have like, and I'm sure you could imagine, but it's just like you said, it's being somewhere for 14 years is a long time, but it's a blessing too. Yeah, then on top of that, it just shows, no, it shows that you definitely probably you always wanted to do it, but
yeah.
it just shows how good you are, what you do, and
That's
your
so
work
nice.
ethic, and then everything. I mean, to be somewhere for 14 years in any company, especially these days, is
Mhm.
unheard of for one. But on top of with the as you said, you see the landscape of media and
Yeah.
sports and things like that. But 14 years and you continue to love to do it, and that just shows how good that you're doing, great job that you're doing, and all the hard work you're putting in.
That's so nice because I don't think I reflect on it like that. Like,
Mm.
I'll have my moments like this last year or earlier this year, God, I don't even know what like
I know you think some to do so many things at the beginning of the year. You're like, wait, that
yes.
wasn't last year, it's still this year.
But it also feels like I don't know if you feel this way or your listeners feel this way, but like time has been so different since 2020, and
Oh
maybe it's
yes.
because like
Yes.
we took a break and like reevaluated what's important. I
Hmm.
don't know. I have no idea what the reason is, but it's felt so different. Like I
Yep.
remember vividly doing um 2010 to 2020 Instagram decade recap, like right when we were going to go into 2020. And now it's like a whole other decade has almost passed. Like,
Yeah.
what?
I think the pandemic was the 2020 was kind of like a 4 to 6 year thing, right?
Yeah, it felt so, I don't know. So, anyways, people
Yeah.
can sound off on that and if they feel the same way. But yeah, I think just the years go by slow, but like the days go by fast. And some
Yes.
people have that reverse of that. But for me, it's what I just said. Like that's more
Mhm.
so how I feel about it. And I have been blessed to do a variety of things within the business, not just sports, but like film entertainment. And I've got to learn from a lot of different people. And
Yep.
it is very rare to be there that long. But for me, it's like all the situations I've been in, everybody who's been a leader or someone I admire has been there for that long already. So it feels like normal, not necessarily like a goal or like a force, like this is what you have to do, because you're right. Like media is changing, platforms of media are changing, how we consume is changing, who the talent is changing, right?
Yeah.
But like I've been around, like some of my great bosses at Disney, Assad, Michelle, Samantha, they've all been at the company for over 20 years. So
Wow.
like it's kind of like when your parents like met in high school and they're still together and you just feel
Hmm.
like that's how everybody is,
Yep.
but it's not. Like I guess that's kind of
Yeah.
like for me, like my parents have been around the company for forever because I
For 20 to 30 years,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But like you're right. Like it's not that's not necessarily the case because I do also mentor people at ESPN.
Mm.
And they're like the top um in our next program. They're called accelerators, so like the top of the top. And like sometimes they'll be at the company for 2 to 5 years and then move on to the next thing. So like
Yeah.
you're right. It's not necessarily a normal thing, but I guess for me, like because me and my husband are both that way, I just don't notice it as much, but yeah, it is a long time. I'm like, is retirement around the corner? Are
We're like,
we
I've been here for
done?
a long time. Are we done yet? Yes, I've been here for
Mhm.
a long time.
I'm
But
like,
the thing
nope,
is,
we're not.
nope, nope. But the thing is, too, you said, I think we're such in the moments of things when because for us when we doing these things, whether it's as you said, recruiting or mentoring or anything like that, or
Mhm.
you're setting up, helping set up the shows and things like that. It's almost like, do we take the time to like reflect and sit back and say, man, it's been a long time, and or you get to enjoy it, and I try to. I talk, like we talk about this a lot. It's like, we love the moment and being in the moment, but take a step back and say, wow, can't believe I did this, or I can't believe I did that,
Yeah.
or to you got to enjoy this, enjoy that moment too. So
Yeah.
I always try to, I always, at least I'm trying to sit back and say, wow, let me enjoy, let me reflect, enjoy the moment before I dive into it as well. So I think that's something I'm really working on as well, just enjoying more of what I'm doing at the time. Like I said, if I'm about to have a set podcast, interviewing you, we'll sit back and say, man, I'm about to interview Katie Hennessey. Yes, let me take time to enjoy it before I get into the interview too. So yeah, I think that's something I'm definitely working on.
It's a great point, and I think it's a huge takeaway out of like everything that we've talked about
Hmm.
is to really reflect in the moment and take your time because even for me, I'm terrible at it. I'm very much like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And
Yeah, me too.
yeah, that just might be how our brains are wired. And because we're like inputting so much information and then formulating an opinion and then outputting so much information.
Yes. Hmm.
But I very much have tried to, I think that's why I've been posting more photos on my social because normally I don't like, I haven't really done that a ton in the past,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like for myself to sit and be like, oh, wow, you did just have this moment. Oh, wow, like you did do this. And I can kind of reflect on it. And maybe a little bit of that is from my sister's passing and learning to like try to live in the nostalgia a little bit more rather
Yeah.
than being
Yeah.
so hard on myself. But even like I told my other therapist, like she goes, when's the last time you feel like you've really slept very well? And I was like, probably my honeymoon in 2021 in Hawaii when
Mm.
I just like didn't have a phone. And so I think back to that of like, what did you do in that moment to be present and to relax? And
Yes.
so and I know that's a very like unique situation, but whenever I'm like just going through shit day to day and I'm like, check the box, check the box, check the box, you kind of have to look back at all your things you've crossed off your list and kind of relish in how great that is.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like, woke up today, gave myself a shower, made my bed. Like for some people, I was in a place in a very, very bad depression where I was suicidal in like
Mm.
2022. And I like that would be my list for the day. Like get up, check your email, brush your teeth, like very simplistic things, but things we take for granted. So I think you have to like not self motivate, but like you have to cheer for yourself at the end of the day
Yeah.
because nobody else is going to care about you as much as you. Maybe your mom, and that's about it.
Yes. No, that's a good point though too. Like you have to, you said you gotta be able to take those moments, and you talked about taking pictures. And if that's if you post on social media and you have those, you reflect on your life and just in
Yeah.
general, you have those moments where you can sit back and say, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this in a last couple of months ago, or a year ago, or 2 years
Yeah.
ago, or whatever." And you have
Yeah.
those moments to kind of look back at it too, and you say really enjoy um, the things that you're doing at the moment, being more present, and that's another thing that I've also working on too is just being more present
Mm.
at this, and not always looking for the next thing, I mean, still do it, but
Oh,
it's
yeah, I do it too.
it's a force of habit, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's just try to be more present and really enjoying the moments of today.
Yeah, and I think that
Sure.
that's very brave of you to be vulnerable that like that is what you're working on because so often like the things that we're working on, we don't really like to share them because it feels like it kind of lessens us or like,
Mm, yeah.
hey, I don't want to admit that I have something to work on, but we all do. So I think what you just said is very like vulnerable, and vulnerability to me is the bravest thing that any person can do because you're like essentially dropping your guard and saying, hey, I know this about myself and I'm working on it and I'm not afraid to share it. So I think what you just did is extremely helpful for anybody listening or anybody who listens in the future, like to be honest with yourself and to be open, like I am working on this and,
Yeah.
come along on the journey. And if you need help, I'm here to help you, even though we all don't have it figured out. No one ever has it figured out ever. Like
Yeah.
you don't
No.
like
No.
even up until you die, like you don't have anything figured out because there's nothing to figure out. Life is just unique for everybody and we all have our own purpose. And like you said before, like prayer or meditation or whatever it is that you do and refocusing yourself and seeing things that are important. I think that's, the main part of life is to enjoy the important moments with your family and people that you love.
Yep, absolutely. 'Cause that's your circle, and you're always gonna, like I said, checking in on them and things like that. And yeah, that's the way we evolve as people.
Mhm.
And each and every day, we deal with a lot of things. We evolve, we do
Yeah.
all those things. So yeah, but this has been a great conversation. I'm glad we got to do this.
Me
And
too. Sorry if
yeah,
it wasn't very like sports related, but
no, no,
I think when we talk about each other as human beings, everybody becomes more relatable. And I think
yeah,
um like when athletes do it specifically because you think like they're like the modern day gladiators and they're
yeah,
so tough and this and that, but like you have the Michael Phelps of the world who are advocating for mental health and like
yes,
being
hmm,
open and honest about it. Again, back to like the vulnerability and bravery of that. I think if we're all just I'm not saying you have to tell everybody everything about your life, but just if you're a little bit more honest that, hey, I might be struggling, or hey, I even need help or I have a question. Like sometimes people are just scared to ask
Ask
questions.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we can be a little bit safer of a landing spot for people to feel like they can ask questions, and if people are vulnerable enough to reach out, then, you know, we might get a little farther along.
Further along in life, right? Yes.
Mhm.
But as you said, like what the Dallas Cowboys just went through with their
Yeah,
teammate, um, and they played their game. It was a lot of emotion, and Dak Prescott led them in prayer, and they played. I mean, they played a heck of a game yesterday,
yeah,
and take that aside. The human, you have the human side of it. It's the humanization of people.
mhm,
Which yes, they're the sport figures, they're the athletes and things like that, but and they're human too, first and foremost. So that's very important, and to I think us as fans sometimes we forget about that they're human too, and they deal with emotions, they have family things, they have mental health things, they go through a lot of different things, and to see them, it's vulnerable, and it's not just their teammate, that was a friend, that was their brother, that was their um, there was a lot of different things with them, and how close they were. They definitely used that emotion to play the game yesterday. So yeah, we all deal with a lot of different things, but it's how you transpire, how you get by it with it too. So agreed. But Katie, this has been a lot of fun. I mean, even I'm glad we had this conversation. I really appreciate the time as always. And like I said, I'm definitely praying for you, and having better days, and things like that, and just being able to you said you're talking it out with your therapist, things like that. So definitely prayers for you, and your family as well.
thank you. Thank you for having me. Anytime, hit me up. I love chatting with you. You're one of my friends, and I wish you all the best and continue to do what you're doing. You're highlighting important people and important stories, and it's great to see.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I really do. And again, anytime you want to come on, just let me know, chat, whatever. I'm here. The platform's open, and we can have these conversations anytime, for sure. So the platform is yours as well. So again, thank you. I really do appreciate you, and appreciate the friendship, and enjoy the holidays, and happy holidays and coming up, and to you and your family, and looking forward to seeing what you got coming up next in the future as well.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you too.
All right. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bye.